Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Charity events across the world are always a benefit. Well, always, most of the time, generally speaking, well, they're beneficial to hospitals, doctors, organizations, and whatnot, research facilities, to, betterment, for the betterment of medical research, doctors, nurses, children, St. Jude's, things like that. And one in particular, RTA in Japan, does little events to benefit Doctors Without Borders. So before we get into what this little topic, in case you hadn't figured it out already, just what I'm talking about, we'll go ahead and talk about RTA in Japan, charity speedrunning event held in Japan every year that raises money for various different causes across the world, similar to GDQ. RTA in Japan has competitors run their favorite games while live streaming their attempts at breaking world records and are simply putting up new personal bests. RTA uh, real time attempt. Y'all correct me in the comments section. I've already forgotten what it stood for. I did look it up. I really did. Although the speedrunning community, speedrunning anything is not something I've ever been interested in, but hey, we're going to talk about it today. Doctors Without Borders is the main beneficiary of RTA in Japan this year, also known by its French name, I'm not even going to try, is an international humanitarian organization that provides medical assistance to people affected by conflict, epidemics, natural disasters, and exclusion from healthcare. They operate in over 70 countries, offering a range of services, including medical care, medical health support, and access to essential medicines. Now that we've got that little lesson out of the way, why on earth are we talking about it? Well, to put it mildly, you don't hate Nintendo enough. I'll copy Fritz phrasing. You just don't hate Nintendo enough. I don't care what the reasons behind this are. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Nintendo forces Japanese charity speedrun event to pull its games from the lineup. I can understand. Oh, claiming unauthorized use. You bought the goddamn game. You own the game, but you're not allowed to use it at a charity event? In case you've forgotten, there was a time where Nintendo did not allow you to stream Let's Plays of their products, of Nintendo games that you already own. Now, sure, corporations can technically do this because copyright infringement, you're showing off the game, you're showing off the product, and replacing your Let's Plays are replacing the actual purchase of the product. However, most game devs, most publishers, they forego enforcing that little part of the end user license agreement because it's called free publicity. Free publicity. Other developers have realized that, other publishers have come to realize that, but Nintendo, it took them a little while. There was a point where you could not, absolutely could not stream Nintendo games on any platform without, what was it, signing some sort of contract, being a Nintendo partner at all. They pulled their head out of their ass on that one, but apparently they're still a little late to the game on this one. Now organizers have to ask permission for every single game in the future. RTA in Japan, which was inspired by Games Done Quick. That's GDQ. Look, I did it. Set to benefit Doctors Without Borders, Japanese charity speedrun series has been forced to pull Nintendo titles from its latest event because the publisher believes the showcase of its game constitutes, quote, unauthorized use. Nintendo will dictate what you can and cannot do with your own property. I've already seen it in the Switch too, where if they decide to, whether you want to agree with me or not, they can decide to, at any time, to brick your system if they don't like what you are doing. It's already been happening. You can consolidate all your games onto one disc, all the games that you own onto one little cartridge, and if Nintendo doesn't like it, they brick your system. It's already happened. If you buy a game secondhand, and sure, you can call Nintendo customer service and get it fixed, but it shouldn't be happening at all. I understand protecting the intellectual property of your products, but this is a bit heavy-handed, in my opinion. Event organizers say they will now have to ask for explicit permission for each Nintendo game they want to showcase in the future. Let's go ahead and go take a look at the official statement. Now, I believe when I pulled this up, it is a translation from Japanese. So, see how it does. Notice regarding the use of Nintendo Corporation Co. Limited games in RTA in Japan. We would like this is from RTA in Japan. We would like to explain how we have come to use games for which Nintendo holds the copyright, hereinafter referred to as Nintendo games, in RTA in Japan, and why Nintendo games are not being used in RTA in Japan summer 2025, as well as our future actions. They have to ask permission for people to use games that they already own for a speed run charity event. Just you decide how you feel about that. RTA in Japan has previously used Nintendo games, but on June 13th, 2025, Nintendo pointed out that, quote, the use of Nintendo games by a corporation requires prior permission. But it's the participants that are using the games that they already own. Like, Nintendo, you got your money for the games already. Let people use them for a charity event that could raise money for a good cause. Let's see. And that our previous use, quote, was without prior permission and constituted unauthorized use. Nintendo will dictate what you can and cannot do, how you play those games. This is what they're stating. If this doesn't terrify you, this doesn't raise any red flags, I don't know what to tell you. RTA in Japan wishes to continue using Nintendo games and has begun discussions with Nintendo regarding permission. Probably maybe because I guess Nintendo games are the easiest and most popular speedrun games out there. Perhaps it's because they're so simplistic in nature. Nothing complex, but in my opinion. As of now, the decision has been made that RTA in Japan will submit individual license applications, and they'll probably have to pay for them. It's a charity event, scumbags. It is a charity event. And I can see more than likely RTA in Japan will have to pay a licensing fee to use the games for charity. Oh, boy. However, for RTA in Japan, summer 2025, were unable to clearly determine how to handle this at the time the participating games were announced, so we have decided not to use Nintendo games. And I wonder how much of an effect that is going to have on the charity event and the amount of money they will be able to raise. All Nintendo's fault. For events held in RTA in Japan after RTA in Japan summer 2025, it is expected that permission will be submitted in advance, if you pay for the license fee, to Nintendo, and that permission will be granted for a small fee before the event can be used. As a result of this, it is expected that the RTA in Japan game application guidelines and application requirements will change because Nintendo is a bunch of scumbags, and we will notify you as soon as the details have been decided. We would like to apologize to those who submitted games that were affected by this issue in RTA in Japan summer 2025. Sincerely, RTA in Japan. This is something else. Let's get back to the article. In Japanese, charity speedrun series has been forced to pull Nintendo titles from its latest event called for unauthorized use. I don't know what to say about this. Yeah, I do. You don't hate Nintendo enough. Their business practices are abysmal. They've only recently gotten with the program to allow people to stream their games, free publicity. Free publicity. And now they want to pull Nintendo games that they don't want to, they did forcibly pulled the use of their video games, their IP, from a charity event. Now, apparently, people in the Japanese community are agreeing with it and don't protect your IP. It's like, well, unfortunately, I think there's a decent portion of the rest of the worldwide community that, well, will find this a little bit of scumbaggery. I don't know. What's your opinion? How are we supposed to trust a corporation that they have the customer's best interests involved when it comes to developing and putting out good quality products when, again, they can brick your system at any time they want to? They raise the prices on 4, 5, 6-year-old hardware. Oh, it's because of the tariffs. It's 6-year-old hardware. Are they raising the prices on the Switch too? You want to blame market conditions? Someone went after me in my comment section, and that's fine. I went and looked it up, and yes, apparently, as of early August this year, a 15% additional tariff on incoming goods from Japan. Okay, then what about the Nintendo Switch 2? What about the Switch 2 games? Are those prices going up? There's been no announcement since the tariffs went into place, correct? And again, if I'm incorrect in what I read about the tariffs against Japan, correct me in the comment section down below. This is 4-plus-year-old electronic hardware. That doesn't happen. Blaming market conditions is just a scapegoat to get you to be able to make more money, to raise the prices on older products, to make the newer hardware more enticing. Just spend another $50. You don't need a Switch 1. You don't need a Switch LED, OLED. You don't need that. Just buy our Switch 2, even though I believe not all the games are backwards compatible, are they? Unless, of course, you buy the upgrade pack to make it look nice and prettier, trying to squeeze every ounce of money they can out of the customer or potential customers. And now, pulling games from a charity event. I'm glad I didn't buy a Switch 2. I have no intention of buying a Switch 2 for myself, ever. Not a Switch 1, not a Switch 2. This sort of business practice put a bad taste in my mouth and will easily, confidently, and eternally make me turn away from a corporation. And believe me, there's other corporations that do just as bad. And I've turned away from them as well. But you decide for yourself. Make those purchasing decisions for yourself. I will always recommend hold on to your wallets. Do not pre-order. Wait for a review to come out before you give these corporations money. They don't deserve it. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that you do, and I hope to see you on the next one.